it's ground zero!
Kirishima and Bakugo froze where they were on the street, turning towards the voices. They looked over to see two little boys, hopping up and down, pointing at Bakugo, their eyes practically sparkling. Kirishima looked over at Bakugo, seeing his eyebrow twitch. He could tell his friend was trying hard not to glare at the kids. Kirishima chuckled and gave the explosive hero a push.
Aren't you going to greet your fans?
Nah. Bakugo just grunted at him. The two pro heroes didn't even have to move. The two kids bolted towards them before Bakugo could think of escaping. A woman, presumably the two boys' mother, ran after them.
Ground Zero! You're so cool! We watch you on TV all the time!
The taller boy panted, speaking as fast as his tongue would let him.
Yeah! First you go like boom, then boom boom, and then boom! Pow! You win!
The smaller one ran around the heroes, making motions like Bakugo would when using his quirk, and finished back in front of them, throwing an uppercut in the air. The mother nervously chuckled, bowing at them. Oh, I'm sorry. They're just a little excited. You are their favorite hero. The boys nodded.
We have all your action figures, and look!
The older boy lifted up his sweater to show he was wearing a Ground Zero shirt, the design based off of his hero costume. Bakugo grunted, looking off to the side.
Thanks for your support, I guess.
Kirishima smirked at him. Bakugo was loud, angry, just as blunt as he was as a student at UA even after all these years, and is confident in his skills as a hero. But when it came to kids, he was extremely bashful and awkward.
Hey, wouldn't it be great to add an autograph to your Ground Zero collection?
Bakugo glared at Kirishima. The kids' eyes went wide and their smiles grew.
An autograph? Really? Can we have one?
Bakugo took a step back, his glare crumbling away as he sighed.
Yeah.
Bakugo started to reach into his pockets, looking for a pen and paper when a notepad with a pen was held up by Kirishima, who was smiling innocently. He snatched the paper from the redhead with a huff and squatted down to the kids' level to ask for their names. Kirishima crossed his arms, smiling at his longtime best friend, proud at how much he had grown as a person over the years. He was still the same determined loudmouth, even calls Kirishima shitty hair once in a while. The redhead just took it as a term of endearment by now. But when it came to communicating with people outside of hero work, Bakugo has learned how to control himself and not blow up in front of them, figuratively and literally. No one would have thought Bakugo would give his fans the time of day, but here he was, squatting down to kids, a small smile on his face as he watched them hug the small scrap of papers to their chests.
Do you want this guy's autograph too?
Kirishima's smile dropped, blinking at Bakugo, who pointed at him with the pen. The children looked just as confused as Kirishima.
Bakugo, you don't have... Do you guys know the hero Red Riot, with the shitty red spiky hair?
The kids nodded, now eyeing Kirishima. Bakugo stood up and pulled off Kirishima's bandana, revealing his long-ago deflated, spiked red hair.
That's this guy.
Bakugo then shoved the notepad and pen on Kirishima's chest. Kirishima gave each boy an autograph. He couldn't help but notice that they weren't as excited as they were when getting Bakugo's. The mother bowed a few times, thanking them and guiding the boys away. They yelled goodbye as the heroes waved to them before continuing walking down the street.
What's got you down now, shitty hair? You couldn't stop smiling before when we left the bar.
Bakugo shoved his hands in his sweater pockets, trying to stay warm as a cold breeze blew in their faces. They were walking back from a small gathering of their former classmates, which had ended earlier than expected. Now that they were in their mid-20s, many of their classmates were now married and had families to go home to. Bakugo and Kirishima were the bachelors of the group. They were heading towards Kirishima's apartment to hang out a bit more before calling it a night. Kirishima gave Bakugo a shrug.
I sometimes forget how great you are. Already in the top 10 and the only one still in their 20s.
Kirishima looked at his hand, hardening it.
Are you still going on about that? I told you.
I'm going to keep working hard, so just you wait. One day, I'll be in the top 10 with you.
Kirishima held up a fist and gave Bakugo a toothy smile. Bakugo chuckled. Pulling his collar up to keep himself warm, he reached up and knocked a fist against Kirishima's.
By the time you get to the top 10, I'll already be number 1, shitty hair.
Aw, come on, we're back to shitty hair? What happened to calling me by my name? Or is that right only reserved for Uraraka?
Kirishima teased. Uraraka was the only girl Bakugo called by name. Bakugo groaned as they turned around a corner.
Oh, for the last time, nothing is going on between me and round fat.
Both heroes stopped in their tracks as they turned a corner and saw an apartment building engulfed in flames. People screaming and rushing out. Without saying anything, both of them ran to the building to help. Kirishima caught an elderly man who was limping out of the building before he could collapse.
Are you alright? I'm fine. Thank you.
Bakugo covered his face against the intense heat waving off of the building.
What the hell happened?
I don't know. One moment everything was fine. The next I was on the ground as the fire spread throughout my apartment. No warning. No alarm went off before, like there was.
The flames grew taller, the pulsating heat pushing them back, their feet sliding against the concrete. People were screaming as they were thrown to the ground. This was no normal fire.
An explosion?
Kirishima looked at the building. He could see people moving inside through the windows. He lowered the man to the ground and started taking off his coat and shirt, leaving himself in a tank top and jeans. He tied his bandana around his mouth as he ran towards the building.
Oi, Kirishima! What are you doing?
Bakugo uncovered his eyes to see him hardening his skin, about to leap into the flames. Kirishima looked back.
Take care of the injured and call for help! I'm going to help the people stuck inside!
Before Bakugo could argue, Kirishima disappeared into the building.
Shit! Come on, old man.
Bakugo bent down to help the elderly man and pulled him further away from the building as he pulled out his phone, muttering,
Guess I'll let you have this one this time.
Hey! Anyone in here?
Kirishima called out to a closed door. He heard movement and a voice called out between the coughs.
Yes! We're in here! Please! Help!
Get away from the door! I'm kicking it down!
The door came down easily beneath his foot. Inside there was a teenage girl with two younger girls huddled under their kitchen table. Kirishima rushed to them and helped them up to the hallway.
Come on, there's a clear path down to the front entrance. Someone will be there to help you.
Thank you!
The teenager muttered as she ushered the younger kids.
It's what heroes do. Now keep your head low and use your shirt to cover your mouth. Go!
Wait! Where are you going?
I have to help the others who might be stuck.
Kirishima turned to the girls and pounded his chest with a hardened fist.
Don't worry,
I'm the unbreakable Red Riot. I'll come to check on you once I get the others. Now go!
Kirishima ran down the hall to the stairs for the next floor. Luckily, many people had been able to get out before the flames became too much. The first few floors were all cleared, and there were only a couple people in the higher ones. There were 3 more floors to check. Kirishima walked down the hall, jumping over a beam that had given in.
Hey! Anyone in here? Hello?
He stopped when he saw someone step out. A firefighter.
Oh, hey!
What are you doing?
A voice cried out as the firefighter stormed over to him. He took note of how small they were up close compared to him. He was a good 2 heads taller.
Are you crazy? Running into a burning building dressed like that? Some rude guy told me that his friend jumped into the building to help, but I didn't think you would still be in here.
The firefighter pointed to the stairs behind them. That's why he hadn't seen them before. They were using the stairs on the other side.
Get out, now. Leave this to the pros.
The firefighter turned around and ran up the stairs. Kirishima blinked a few times, totally thrown off by their outburst, but then quickly recovered and followed them upstairs.
Hey, wait!
He took the stairs 2 at a time. They were fast for someone so small. He caught up to them as they were holding up some kind of machine that looked like some laser gun you would find at an arcade. It made a loud buzzing sound and flashed red.
9th floor cleared.
The firefighter climbed the steps and Kirishima followed.
Hey, what is that thing?
They continued to ignore him.
Hey, wait a minute. I can help. I'm actually a pro.
Please, leave already. It isn't safe. The building is on the verge of collapsing. I can't focus on trying to find people and the source of the fire while having to watch over you.
They placed a hand on Kirishima's chest, giving him a light push.
Thank you for helping the others, but you need to leave. You have been in here too long with just a bandana over your mouth. It may keep most of the smoke out of your lungs, but not all of it. Just go before your lungs give out on you.
They turned and rushed up the stairs, not waiting to make sure Kirishima left. He almost did, after hearing everything they had to say. But his pride as a hero and a man wouldn't let him. He sprinted up the stairs, made it just in time to see the firefighter's machine light up green.
I found someone on the 10th floor. The locator says there are 2 people.
They rushed down till the machine beeped again, and they stopped in front of a door, pulling out their axe. However,
I got this!
Kirishima rushed from behind them as he lifted his foot and kicked the door down. They jumped in surprise before turning to Kirishima, winking at them afterwards.
You! Seriously! Did you not... Hey!
Kirishima ignored them as he stormed in to find the last people, but froze when he saw what it was inside.
What is wrong with you? Oh.
Inside the room were 2 children, a little girl huddled in the corner and another sitting in the center of the room crying and on fire. Kirishima looked at the firefighter as they pressed a hand to their helmet.
Chief? I found the source of the fire. It's a kid.
Can you help him?
A small voice cried from the corner. The little girl was holding a teddy bear close to her as she looked at the other child currently engulfed in flames. Kirishima was completely frozen, unsure of what to do. These kids were really young. His eyes wandered towards the flaming child. His quirk must have just manifested. He must be so scared. Kirishima could relate.
Don't worry. I'm here to help both of you. What's your name?
Kirishima's head snapped back when he heard a sweet, gentle voice address the little girl. The firefighter crouched down in front of her.
Did something happen to your friend?
The little girl nodded.
I'm Kimmy. We were playing when my older brother and his friends started making fun of Shiro for not having a quirk yet. I tried to stop them, but then they pushed him. Shiro yelled at them to leave us alone, and then suddenly it started to become really warm. I woke up on the floor and Shiro is crying. He can't stop his quirk.
The firefighter patted her head as she held onto her bear more tightly.
You did a good job staying with your friend.
The firefighter turned towards Kirishima.
Hey, you. If you want to help, carry her out to safety while I help the other kid.
Kirishima swallowed and nodded before he made his way over to the little girl.
Oh, right.
You sat in front of the little boy who was currently engulfed in flames. The heat coming from such a small body was amazing and frightening at the same time. No doubt the kid was strong, but he didn't know how to use his quirk yet. You lifted the tinted cover on your helmet so the child could see your eyes. Hey there, sweetheart. What's your name? The little boy rubbed his eyes, sniffling. Looking closely at the child's skin, it almost appeared as if the child's body was entirely made of lava.
Shiro.
Hi, Shiro. I'm Traveler. Is this the first time you've used your quirk? The child nodded at you. Okay, so this is completely new to him. Alright, Shiro, I need you to take some deep breaths and try to relax, okay? I need you to calm down so that way we can stop the fire. Can you do that for me? Shiro shook his head, crying more heavily.
I can't.
Before you could even ask why not, you saw a surge of heat waves come off the child. The flames around him grew, licking at your gear. Crap.
If I stop, it's all gonna get out. I tried, but more came. It won't go back.
He hiccuped between his words as he explained. Double crap. You looked back at the redhead dumbass trying to convince the little girl to go with him. Why didn't he just pick her up and go? He's a big dude. Like really big. Can you hold it for a few more minutes, Shiro? He gave you a shaky yes as he sucked in the air. Some of the heat seemed to lower when he did that. You went over to the window to analyze your options. Maybe you could have someone get the guy and the little girl on the ladder while you took Shiro to the top of the building to release whatever he was holding back. Then again, you didn't exactly know how much that was. You could see the people who escaped the building being helped by the EMTs and heroes that had come to the scene on the ground below you. That's when you saw a certain hero, and you got an idea. Hey, Chief?
Yeah?
I have an idea, and you aren't going to like it.
Have I ever liked your ideas, Traveler? What is it?
Can you ask Fat Gum if he wouldn't mind being used as a trampoline to send me in the air a safe distance away so that, I don't know, a child-shaped firebomb as hot as lava can go off without causing any more damage to the other buildings or people?
I really hate your ideas. I'll ask, but knowing him, he'll probably do it.
Roger that. You grabbed your axe and swung at the window, breaking the glass.
What are you doing?
You turned to the man who was shielding Kimmy in disbelief. You didn't answer him as you took your oxygen mask off and placed it on Kimmy's face, then taking your jacket off and wrapping it around her.
Ready when you are.
Your chief chimed in your ear. You gave Kimmy a smile. Listen, Kimmy, I'm going to help your friend, So I want you to go with the man to where it's safe. We'll see you in a little bit, okay? She gave you a little nod as you stood. Chief, I'm giving my helmet to a civilian who's bringing out a little girl. I'll be out in 1 minute. Tell Fat Gum to be ready for impact.
Fat Gum? Hey!
You slammed your helmet onto the redhead. It was a little snug, but it should be fine. Now leave already, dude. You've done plenty for today. You turned around to Shiro. I'm going to need you to close your eyes for a bit. Don't open till I tell you. Also, when I say let it go, I want you to let out everything you are holding back. Got it? He gave you a nod and closed his eyes. Without any hesitation, you picked him up and ran full speed through the open window. Kirishima pushed the helmet up in time to see you jump out of the window with the flaming child.
Oh shit!
He stood up with the little girl in his arms and ran to the window, making it in time to see you being launched by Fat Gum's large belly and shot straight up in the air.
Whoa.
Wooden debris fell from behind him, startling him in the process. The child in his arms yelped. He held her closer, giving her back a few pats.
I got you. Don't worry.
He looked back inside to see that his path was blocked by debris.
Guess it's our turn. Close your eyes and hold on tight.
Without hesitating, Kirishima climbed out the window and jumped, holding the child in one arm and using the other to slow their descent down the building as he fell to the ground below, his legs hardening for the expected impact. Are you all right? An EMT came running over to him as he pulled the helmet and bandana off.
Yeah, I'm okay, but she needs to be checked out.
Kirishima handed the child over to the EMT. He looked around. There were ambulances everywhere and firefighters trying to put out the inferno. He mumbled to himself, wondering where Bakugo had gone.
Hey, that dumbass needs to be checked out too.
A firefighter walked up to Kirishima, patting him hard on the back. The man started steering him towards the ambulances.
What kind of moron runs into a burning building? You?
Kirishima raised an eyebrow at the man, slightly confused. He sure was friendly. The man turned to him for a moment before bursting out into laughter.
Oh well, you aren't wrong. I like you, kid. But seriously.
He pushed Kirishima down to sit on a chair by an ambulance. An EMT immediately started to look him over and handed him an oxygen mask.
You were really frustrating them in there. I could hear them mumbling about some moron who wouldn't leave the entire time. Huh?
The firefighter took the helmet from Kirishima's hand.
There's a mic and earpiece in here so we can communicate. As Chief of Station 49, I thank you for helping all those people. Now please stay here so you can get checked out. You've done plenty.
The man left, disappearing into the crowd. Kirishima sighed, leaning back as his vitals were checked.
Oi! Shitty hair! What the fuck?
Kirishima looked up to see Bakugo walking over to him glaring. He then took off the oxygen mask to greet his friend.
Oh! Hey, bro!
Bakugo promptly hit Kirishima in the face with a blast. Luckily, he hardened in time. Everyone around them took a couple steps back as Bakugo began to yell.
Don't you fucking bro me! You were in there for fucking ever! This is why you're only in the top 30. You're too fucking slow when it comes to rescuing people. We're starting cardio training tomorrow.
Aww, you were worried about me?
Bakugo hit him in the face with another blast. There was another large boom that made the ambulance that Kirishima was leaning against shake. He looked up at Bakugo, who held up his hands defensively.
It wasn't me this time.
Kirishima looked up higher, past Bakugo, and his jaw dropped. Bakugo turned around to see what he was looking at and gasped.
What the fuck is that?
A large cloud of fire spread across the sky, momentarily turning the night into day.
I think a 4-year-old boy.
Wait, what the fuck did you just say?
One moment you are high in the sky, seeing the most beautiful view of the city at dawn. The next you are falling down with your back towards the ground, soot now covering your entire body. The only thing that didn't change was the feeling of the small body you held close to yours. Such a brave boy. He was clutching onto you with everything he had, his eyes still shut tight, like you told him. You looked down at the ground, barely able to keep your eyes open due to the force of the wind.
Fatgum, you better catch me, I swear to God!
You clutched onto the small body, curling yourself around him, protecting him from any potential harm.
Here it comes!
You thought as the buildings became larger with every moment you came closer to the ground.
Oof! Gotcha.
You felt yourself being surrounded by cool plush and sinking deep inside it. You lurched back up and bounced a few times before your body settled.
Is it over? Can I open my eyes?
You heard Shiro murmur in your chest, making you chuckle. You opened your eyes yourself, looking up at the now dark sky as you laid in what you assumed was Fatgum.
Yeah, you can open your eyes.
You whispered tiredly, petting his head. He peered up at you, not letting you go yet. His face was covered in soot as well.
That was kind of fun. Can we do it again?
Sure, but let's not do it anytime soon. I don't know how much more my heart can take.
You laughed more loudly. You could feel Fatgum shaking with laughter as well.
You're one brave kid. Combined with that power, you'll be a great hero.
Really?
His eyes sparkled, no sign of tears or despair in them anymore.
Yep. You should make your hero name Bombay. Very fitting with that kind of explosive power. Ugh.
You sat up. Your muscles were completely sore. Someone reached out to you to help you stand. You grabbed it only for them to hiss in pain and pull their hand back. There was a small sizzling sound when your hands touched.
Your skin is hot.
You watched as an EMT clutched his bright red hand. Oops.
What do you expect? They were just in the middle of a ball of fire. Fire is very hot.
You smirked at the condescending voice. A gloved hand reached out towards you and you took it. This time you were yanked up instantly.
Hey, do you ever do anything, like, not reckless?
Your co-worker and friend, Ami, laughed at you, pointing to the sky. You gave her a shrug.
How do I look? Like burnt toast? But don't worry, we can scrape the burnt part off and no one would ever know.
She reached up and wiped your bare arm, revealing your skin underneath the black soot.
Huh, I think you tanned a little more this time.
You looked down at the rest of you. All your gear had been burnt off. Not even your firefighter-issued pants had made it. All that was left were your fireproof shorts and underwear meant for people with fire quirks. You hummed as you hobbled alongside her. Got an ice bath set up for us?
Chief got it ready before big guy over here could even expand his body. It's in an ambulance ready to take you to the hospital to get checked out.
She motioned towards Fat Gum, who was now back to his usual large size. You gave him a nod, and he gave you a thumbs up in return, before going back to work. With the help of Ami, you got into the ambulance with Shiro in your arms. You could feel him cooling off faster than you, but he was still burning hot. Ready, kiddo? He gave you a smile. You stepped inside the glass box full of ice water. Steam instantly rising the moment you put your feet in. Slowly you lowered yourself, a sigh of relief, exhaling from your mouth as you sunk into the cool water. You ducked underwater and felt Shiro move to do the same. After a while you both went up for air, sighing happily. Your skin was no longer black from ash and soot.
Better?
Ami laughed at the two of you.
Yep.
You both said in unison.
Alright, let's get this thing moving.
Ami stepped out and started to close the doors.
Man, I wish I was fireproof like you.